Welcome, D&D patrons, to episode 17 of Holy Rollerz, a 4th edition D&D clerical campaign where each of the characters can channel divinity, and religious beliefs can range from prayers for the dead to eating the dead, depending on the character. So now for a bit of lore to begin. During the Shattering Era, the figurative Dark Ages of Ienia, it is believed that the Archfey used their power over nature to keep Ienia's natural laws from collapsing. This small cohort of Fey nobles are rumored to be children or grandchildren of the goddess Titania, and they fled to the far corners of the Feywild after falling out of favor with the Seelie court. Calling themselves the Rebel Court, the Archfey, whose domains are closest to Ienia, made a play for the world when the Forgotten Gods abandoned it. Some scholars believe the Rebel Court meant to draw Ienia into the Feywild, granting them enough power to challenge the Seelie court for rulership. Other scholars believe that they meant to ascend to godhood, eventually leaving the Feywild for the astral sea to form their own heaven. Regardless, when the Outer Gods answered the call of the ancient Tarsirian Empire and accepted dominion over the world, they summarily banished the Archfey from Ienia and used their divine power to wipe their names from the world. Although their names are not forbidden, as the Archdevils and Forces are, they are more commonly known by their monikers: the Crystal Countess, the Piper, the Gilded Lord, the Severed Sisters, the Wood Witch, and the Jester. It remains to be seen which of the Archfey has allied with Navariel, the fallen Archangel of Pride.
Boo. Boo.
And yeah, you're welcome to boo him because I know what he's going to do in the next several episodes. Anyway, moving on. Okay, you're welcome to boo him.
You're going to give out free samples of something? Because I feel like...
He is. He's going to be at the Costco. It's going to be ugly. Anyway, no. All right. So now for a brief recap. Last time on Holy Rollerz, a dragonborn named Morokhan chased the two fleeing redcaps back into the chapel where he slew them. Morokhan introduced himself as an ally and a servant of Hemina, the goddess of light. Lachlan identified the dragonborn as a sun cleric from his tattoo and welcomed his aid provided he opposed the faith of man. Anduriel questioned his motives and the convenience of his arrival. The clerics tended to the bodies left in the chapel, and they interrogated Furine, the mercenary who had attacked the chapel with Dr. Fields of the Faith of Man. Furine told the clerics about the daily schedule of the Faith of Man's embassy and some of the forces that they have protecting it, including some kind of artificial fire archons. After Lachlan talked to Brother Ferrante, the ranking cleric now of the Chapel of Bestera, into paying off Furine, the clerics determined that the chapel would no longer be a safe place for the survivors. They resolved to head back to the Rose Garden Tavern at Madame Dimitri's invitation, after which the clerics decided to seek the aid of Lysinopril, the town of Winterrun's resident wizardess, who maintains some kind of tower in the Hillocks or the Formal District. We're not sure yet. Allowing Morokhan to accompany them for the time being, the clerics loaded up the chapel wagon with things that couldn't be left behind and set out for the Rose Garden Tavern. And that, my friends, is where we shall begin. So, gentlemen, you guys load up the wagon with a number of things that Brother Ferrante and Sister Contratia insisted could not be left behind. You end up loading a few trunks onto there and several items that they have wrapped in cloth that they've told you should not be touched. Some relics or artifacts or items that are sacred to the church. So you loaded all of these things up. I'm assuming that Lachlan didn't want to do much of the heavy lifting. I'm assuming that Anduriel wanted Gizik probably to do most of the manual labor. I'm assuming Morokhan probably decided to help, but don't let me put words in your mouth. Ben, did Morokhan help them, or?
Of course, he tries to be a helpful beast.
Alrighty. So you load everything up, and now you are in a wagon, and you are on your way towards the Rose Garden Tavern. Any conversation that happens, you've got an enormous dragonborn, and when he gets up into the wagon and sits on it, it goes over like there's a noticeable tilt, and if Gizik is sitting on the same side, you're going to have a hard time getting this bad boy started. So, Gizik, are you sitting on the same side? Or
I thought Gizik was pulling the wagon.
Are they riding in the wagon? That seems...
The wagon is large enough to accommodate all of you. 2 riders in the driver's seat, and then four you can squeeze yourselves in. But if you have Gizik and Morokon sitting on the same side, it becomes very obvious here. The wheel starts to go.
Yeah, let's not tip it over. I'll sit on the other side and balance him out.
Okay.
And Duriel's going to the front to the driver's seat so he can brood a little bit and think on the recent developments.
Okay. Quite a bit to
Just
ponder over.
enough for everybody.
Okay.
I sit right smack dab between Gizik and Morokon.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions for Morokon as the journey? And Duriel, you're brooding, but feel free to jump in at any point.
I can still hear.
I smack Morokon's knee just like a howdy, and I say, so how did you know the Red Caps needed their necks twisted? Do you have a thing against the Fae?
Yeah.
So Morokon, I can help you out with this a little bit. As you were heading into the churchyard to enter the chapel that you had been guided to, they attacked you on the way out, much to their dismay.
Yeah, they I saw a couple little ones scramble out of this building, and they did try to take a swipe at me on their way out, and it was to their undoing.
Well, they're nasty. And tell me how a Dragonborn found faith in one of the Eastland gods. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be, like make you think I'm a racist or something, but you're kind of an anomaly here.
Where I hail from, Dragonborn, all types of races really are not looked upon as strange. Although I have noticed a striking lack of Dragonborn around here.
So have you always worshipped Tamina?
Has he told you where he's from yet?
I don't believe I
I don't
have.
think so.
Just checking.
No, Lachlan just assumes he comes from Jeshurd because that's where all dragony things come from.
Okay, Lachlan thinks he's a foreigner. Okay.
So, have you always worshipped Tamina?
I was taken to the Citadel of Perpetual Light at a very young age. My parents are both Dragonborn, and they both worship Hamina.
So are you really an Eastlander then?
No, I hail from far, far west, New Tarsa.
And New Tarsa is technically part of the Eastland Alliance, but they consider themselves more members of the Tarsarian Empire first. He basically told you, Lachlan, that he's from New York. You're from Los Angeles.
Yes. So Anduriel kind of looks over his shoulder. So, Lizard, if you're from so far away, why are you here?
Hamina has blessed me with a vision. And in that vision, she guided me to this chapel.
Are you quite sure it was this chapel? Hamina's visions can be as silly as her followers.
That's not very nice. And Lachlan says that. That's not very nice. You'll have to forgive him, Morokon. Can I call you Moro? Like Moro? Can I call you Moro? You'll have to forgive him. He's a bloodsucker. He worships Naylock, but he's actually a really pretty decent guy. Sorry, was that a secret, Anduriel?
He what now?
No secret from me. If it makes the lizard nervous, that's no concern of mine. And forgive me or not forgive me, I don't care. I'm not in here to be kind, to be nice. I'm actually just looking for the facts. All right, lizard. So you're 100% sure your silly goddess gave you a vision of this chapel.
I would recommend not slandering the great goddess of the sun.
I would recommend Gizik take a bath every once in a while, but here we are.
Who needs a bath? I've got magic.
Another truth has been spoken.
Believe me, I do not fear your vampire-ness, nor this quote-unquote god that you serve. My father has slain many of your kind.
Oh, if only your father were here, that would be a great story. But fools always fear what they don't understand, and you don't understand anything. Other than you had a silly dream, and now you're here at this chapel at a very convenient moment for this group, as a matter of fact. I don't trust you. I don't trust that you are here as some sort of, oh, here comes the big lizard to save us all in this crew. It's too convenient. My meeting with these two was anything but convenient, and all of a sudden you come traipsing along. Hey, I just killed these tiny little red caps. Now can I be part of your gang? That's not how it works.
Hey Gizik, don't you think? Don't you see the god's hands in this? Because I've got to tell you, I didn't see myself traveling with a priest of Naylock who drinks blood, or someone who worships Sagroon, and yet here we are.
But that's precisely my point. It's terribly inconvenient for us to have been paired together. And now it's very convenient that this person comes along when he does.
You really think that...
Sorry to interrupt you. In chat, Aaron goes, what happened to Anduriel to make him so untrusting? There's a question. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead, Lachlan.
You think that it's convenient that he would come worshiping a priest of Hamina would come? I mean, if it was going to be convenient, it would have been like, I don't know, maybe a Besteran priest. Like, that would have been really convenient. But, hello, Hamina, it seems odd and sort of fated that the two of you, the light and the dark, would be paired together on this great adventure to stop the faith of man.
Wait to write your poetry till after we're done. Good grief.
It's already in the works, man.
Good grief. Olga, you've proven wise in the past. What say you?
Aren't we all here following some vision of our gods?
All right, that's.
I don't think it's convenient for any of us. and silly god. I mean, God of Light doesn't seem silly anywhere near as silly as God of Love or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, who needs love?
It is not uncommon for the god of darkness to leave his followers in darkness. Do you think it was convenient that the goddess of light would lead me halfway across the world to meet with a ragtag group of misfits?
Hey, I resent that. There's some misfitry going on here.
Okay, Sister Contratia interrupts. She goes,
ragtag.
I brought some biscuits. I think there's a jar of jam in this basket somewhere. And Brother Ferrante just looks back.
I reach over and grab a few.
He looks over and he just kind of scoots to the edge. There's no room for him to scoot anywhere, Anduriel. But Brother Ferrante is just like, scoots a little bit away from you.
So can you breathe fire?
All right, you say that, and Sister Contratia goes, it's raspberry jam.
I can indeed.
Oh, let's see it.
Yeah.
Come on. Fire.
Do the roar, Daddy. Do the roar.
Yeah.
We're not traveling in a wooden
I need to turn this
contraption.
cart around. There would be no fire in the cart made of wood.
Okay.
I will turn this cart around.
Okay.
Just a good belt into the sky, you know?
Brother Ferrante goes, no! And he gets behind the shield.
It would not bode well for this vampire if I were to breathe fire.
Well,
I enjoy
And
good fire
Gizik-
as much as anyone.
Gizik, the only reason you snub love is because you were abused as a child. I mean, when you find that right someone, I'm sure you will change your tune. Love's out there, even for the likes of you.
I wipe
So-
away a tear and say, "No, that's not true."
Well, you clearly, you are oozing practically with the goddess of love.
Thank you.
I do understand the alignment of this dark brooding thing up here, but you, large one, what are you seeking light? Whom do you serve?
Your mother.
I mean,
Does Anduriel say that?
He mumbles.
I missed it. What did he say?
Your mother.
Hold on. Make a perception check, please.
isn't that Lachlan?
Me?
Yeah, make a perception check. Are you trained in perception, Morocon?
I am not.
You're not. So you add half your level, which is just 1, and then your wisdom modifier, which is nothing. So-
Nothing.
All right. You what'd you get?
Oh my! I rolled a 20.
Oh, all right. So, in answer to your question, what was your question again to Gizik? Like, whom do you serve?
Whom do you serve?
Yes.
And Duriel says, your mother, under his breath.
Oh wow. Morocon is ignoring this. He's still trying to process how to handle having to deal with the Dark One. This is something I'm going to have to pray to Himina about for quite some time.
I've made T-shirts. They say, "Nalok, are you sure?" If you want one that says "Silly Goddess, are you sure?" I could make one for you.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So,
Merchandising, all right.
all right. So you guys are just kind of sniping at each other back and forth, and Duriel says, your mother, and Brother Fronte goes, oh, and he sucks in his breath, and Sister Contratia goes, I think I have some pickles in here too. And she
Why don't you shove one in Anduriel's mouth?
Okay, you mention Anduriel's mouth, and all the blood drains out of her face.
Yes, sister. Why don't you?
Okay. She hands Lachlan the jar of pickles. Here, you can give out the pickle.
I hand him to Gizik.
All right. She starts buttering, or she starts putting jam across her hand, very casually. And then she looks down and realizes what she's doing, and then grabs one of the biscuits and starts wiping the jam on the biscuit, and she offers it to Morocon.
So you hand me just like a whole jar of pickles?
Thank you.
Yeah, a whole jar of pickles.
All right, well, I grab the jar and I kind of take a swig of the brine and I I say,
That's electrolytes there, baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
A little bit is like dribbling down his
plants crave. And I
Okay.
say, I worship the goddess Sigrun. Well, worship, serve, whatever. You know, she's powerful. She gives me what I want, and I do what I have to.
Well, I suppose any follower of Sigrun doesn't necessarily
crazy?
worship her, I
I-
suppose. One doesn't really worship Sigrun.
Does one
worships
choose to serve Sigrun? I think, you know,
That's-
she says, serve me, and you kind of have to.
I offered him a little bit of Celestina, but he wasn't up for that.
Who's
Not worth
Celestine?
the effort.
Oh, not Celestina. Celestina's an exarch.
Okay.
From a different campaign?
Yeah. No, Celestina is one of she's one of the saints of Sindel's church, kind of like Saint Delia Adira. She just represents light, a different aspect, like the light of love. So, in any case, so after quite a bit of of awkward discussion, bickering. Anybody
Same
else?
beast.
Anyway, yeah, it gets really tense between Morocon and Enduriel several times. Disdain dripping, and
I just want to end it with by asking him, say, what can you tell me either some songs or some stories of your people? I'm always looking for some material for my repertoire.
I suppose I could teach you a draconic lullaby, but
he has the head of a camel. The neck. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't.
I suppose I could teach you a draconic lullaby, but music doesn't agree with me. I never
Well, how about
never
some
learned.
stories? Some stories then.
You never asked me for stories.
I know your story. But if you have more, I'd love to hear them.
Okay. All right. So you say that, and Brother Ferrante pipes up and he says, can we maybe take a vote on that?
No, they're great stories, you know. Witch goes, steals some children, and fattens them up and eats them, you know. Just your standard bedtime stories.
Quite fascinating.
The witches win.
Which is so at the
Gain
end
power.
of the story, the kind and saintly witch whose candy house was assailed by two fat, greedy little children finally manages to deliver justice. So very nice. Okay. All right. So you guys start, after all of, bickering and perhaps bandying about Lachlan. I don't know if you ever get much of what you're looking for. Morocon, I imagine, probably sings some kind of lullaby that sounds more like he's gargling with glass. But I don't know. That's up to you, Ben, whether Morocon. So I don't know if you get sated. But
I will tell you the Battle of Tetracon.
okay. So you go through this, and then you find yourself coming up on the Rose Garden Tavern. It's in terms of the time of day you guys left. It's the evening now. The sun has definitely fallen, which means, Enduriel, you're feeling that much more energized right now. Not necessarily hungry because you've fed recently, but you're certainly feeling energized as your resistance to radiance kicks back in, given that the sun's not on you. So you guys make it to the Rose Garden Tavern, and who's going to go in first?
Me.
Okay. All right.
I was given a personal invitation.
Okay. Lachlan, you open back up the Rose Garden Tavern door, and it looks as though in the time since you have been there that they've managed to set everything to rights. And you see that the planter that Kaelin had psionically tossed onto the floor has been returned, mounted back up on the chain that it was hanging from in the ceiling. So it's back where it was. However, there are a few cracks in it from its flight into the priest of the High One. And everything looks to have been restored. The tavern is fairly full again, too. It's quite bustling. So you open the door and you come on in, and Madame Dimitri is at the bar pouring a drink. And she says, "Oh, yeah, welcome back to the Rose Garden Tavern, priests. I'm happy to see you, and you're always welcome. Not sure you want everybody knowing where you are, but I'll bar the wee door before I'll let them take you away. Come on in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all of you walk in?
I
Yeah.
gauge the door and decide if it's worth trying to squeeze my way through it.
Yeah, you can definitely make your way. You're going to have to duck, but
Oh, it's a
Okay.
tavern door. They make them big.
yeah, it's big. It's big. But you do have to duck to get in. And so, Gizik, you come in before him, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I want some more of that stew.
Okay, Brother Ferrante tells you that he is going to wait with the wagon until you've secured some place for him to be able to unload some of the things that are there. And anyway, so Brother Ferrante stays, Sister Contratia stays with Brother Ferrante, and as you all dismount the wagon, she seems noticeably relieved to watch you all walk into the bar. And then you come into the bar and you all walk back in behind Lachlan, and she goes, "And happy am I to see you again, Mr. Gizik, Master Endurio. Welcome, welcome. And oh my,
He's with us.
he's with you. Is he a priest?
He is, and he won't burn anything
Traveling
down,
with
so
us.
no worries.
And he won't. What does he eat? I'm sorry, I'm talking to you as though you want. Well, hello. Hi. Welcome to the Rose Garden Tavern, where too many things are flammable. What will you have?
Have you any oxen?
I have stew, if that'll please you. It's full of good hearty meat. It'll put fat on your bones if you have fat. I don't know. Do you want some stew? How about a drink? Ruby! Okay. Ruby comes out and she takes one look at you and she goes, "Oh. Did they drink?" And she says, "Aye, of course they drink. Everybody drinks. Fool girl. Now go get him a bowl of stew. Get some food for all of them." Is it all right? She says, "What?" And she looks at you and she says, "How long will you be staying?"
We need to see if you can help offer some protection to a couple of people from the church. The church was attacked, and it's not safe for them anymore.
You say the church was attacked?
They killed Brother Havernell.
Earth Mother preserve us. And she just puts her hand to her mouth and shakes her head.
It was
She says-
Dr. Fields.
Does she know Dr. Fields? And she says, "Well, I'm gonna make a roll real quick and see if she has any idea who Dr. Fields is." And she says, "Some doctor killed him? Was he
works for the
operating?"
Faith of Man. He works for the Faith of Man.
He's one of them blather skites.
Yep, the Faith of Man and their red caps.
And do you say he killed him in cold blood?
Took his head clean off.
Ay, the Earth Mother preserve us until we get those bastards out of here. Well, yes, of course, we can make a place for them. Bring them in, and have a seat. Maybe we ought to have a discussion in the back. Why don't you come into the back through the kitchen, and we'll have a talk, and we'll get you fed. Now, by this point, you've got quite a number of people who are looking at you. Some of them have never seen Gizik. These aren't all the same patrons. And they're looking at Gizik, and they're looking at Moroccan, and they're like, their eyes kind of bug out just a little bit.
I'll give him a big, really toothy grin. Ah.
Okay. All right. You do that, and there are some fine-dressed gentlemen in the back who just kind of openly go, "Ugh," like that, and then they kind of turn back to their drinks, and you overhear the word "monster" also.
I'm gonna walk up to them and ask them, "Where do you get your clothes? I've been told I need to get some better clothes."
All right. You walk up to these gentlemen, and the closer you get to the table, the more they kind of turn with their drinks this way. And then you actually address them, and then they can't pretend like you're not there anymore. And they look up and they said, we have our clothes made by a tailor. Like decent folk.
Oh, does this town have one of them?
Yes, his name is Nordstrom.
I don't think you'd be able to afford the same tailor. Maybe you better go on. All right, so one of them sitting there says, "Maybe you better go on," and the other one says, "There's no need to be rude. He can't help the way he looks." I'm sorry. What I mean is, It must be very difficult for you to be so imposing and strong. That's what I meant.
I'll chime in from the other side. Large one, come. We need you over here.
All right, you say large one come, and Ruby goes, that isn't the kettle. Okay. And then she goes, well, come on to the back, please.
All right.
Before everybody gets up and runs away again.
Lachlan says to Gizik, "Hey, if you're looking for some wardrobe ideas, I got some thoughts for you. You don't need to ask them. I got you covered."
All right. They're pretty useless anyway. And I walk off.
All right. They're so grateful that you walked away that they don't even respond to you. Anyway, moving on. So Ruby kind of ushers you into the back, and anybody want to tell her? Well, anyway, you guys move into the back room, and she says, Madame Dimitri says, Ruby, go out and tell the other priest to come in. And she brings you back through the kitchen. It's just, right now, it's just her and Ruby. And she brings you back behind the kitchen to a room that is behind the kitchen. It's kind of just a storeroom, more or less, but she does have a table set up back there, and there is quite a bit of room for you to sit down. And she tells you all to go ahead and have a seat, and then she brings back bowls of stew and hot piping bread fresh out of the oven, and then she takes your drink orders if you have any, and whatnot. So,
thank you for your kindness, innkeeper.
Okay. And so she kind of gets everybody settled, and then she pulls up a little stool. Since there aren't enough chairs once Sister Contratia and Brother Ferrante are seated, she pulls up a stool and she says, I'm happy to shelter them for as long as you want, and I'm happy to provide you a place to rest your head as well, but I can't help but think that maybe it's a bit dangerous for you to be here where everyone knows they've seen you before. Do you want to stay? Is it your intention to?
It would probably everywhere we go, people try to burn down the buildings we're in. So maybe it's a better idea if we stayed in like out in the wilderness, or in some, sneak into somebody's hayloft or something for our rest.
What kind of path of destruction have you guys left behind you?
Oh, it's the faith of man.
It's the faith of man. Hey, the graveyard, I think that might be available.
You
They
say
had a
that,
really nice, big, comfortable room there.
and Madame Dimitri pipes up and she says, I heard that you restored order to the graves. It's been spoken of in the tavern. What did you do?
Kill the chain devil.
A what?
The faith of man, they had a pet chain devil. We sent him back
They had a
to his own
devil.
plane. That's how they kept all the that's how they kept the spirits.
Ugh.
And our
From going to their rest.
resident priest of the night was able to work his mojo with the dead.
Okay.
We gave them peace.
All right,
Good
Anduriel,
service.
Madame Dimitri nervously comes over to you, and she picks up your hand, and she pats your hand very warmly and gives you a smile. And she says, well done, laddie. Well done.
Like a dog.
It's much
Who's
more
away, Anduriel?
it's much more motherly than it is canine, but, and you can tell it kind of it costs her to come over and touch you, and your skin is probably pretty cold to the touch, but she makes an effort to do it anyway.
And Durio gives her he actually gives her a big smile and says, thank you. The courage that we exhibited in that graveyard is only matched by your courage in assisting us that night we were attacked here. Thank you so much.
Well, I thank you. If you can set to right what's gone wrong, we're benighted and accursed in this town, and everybody knows it, and nobody's done a thing. The poor just blades are overmatched, and their numbers are depleted. if you can set things to rights, I've been telling everybody that's come to the tavern about what you've done, that you fought the Just Blades and that you didn't kill them when you had the chance. I do believe you may even have some allies among them, from what I've heard. It might be worth your time at some point to head over there and see if you can talk to them in the chapter house and convince them.
That is good to know. Unfortunately, time works against us. Right now, we need to find a witch, and we need to find her quickly.
A witch? Isn't he one?
Yeah, but we need another one.
A different one.
I think it's a wizard.
Well, we don't have a witch, but do you mean
Sorry.
Lacinapril?
Yes, Chlorophyll, the wizard.
She wouldn't be an NPC if she didn't get a nickname. So, he says, well, you could visit her. What help do you hope she'll be?
Sorry, Anduriel's like, I've spoken a lot right now, guys. He's on the edge of his ability to, but to socialize. It's like, this is getting,
He's not brooding enough.
yes.
You're making him talk. Stop it.
Stop! I'm not the talky one. I'm over here brooding.
All right, she asks again if nobody says anything, and Anduriel's like, she says, well, what hope do you get from her? She's a weird one from what I've heard.
We're hoping that the faith of man hasn't corrupted her, and we can use her as an ally against them.
Oh, I don't think she'd let him in the door, dear. She's a bit of a xenophobe, if you know what I mean.
Well, if she can,
We have
maybe
a
she has
dragon.
some divinations or ways to get us help, but we need allies.
Okay, so Brother Ferrante says he's nervous about the wagon and about everything that's on the wagon, and Ruby tells him that he can bring the wagon around the back of the tavern so that those things can be unloaded. And Madame Dimitri sends Ruby off to kind of help him unload. If any of you want to help, you're welcome to, but Madame Dimitri seems pretty... Anduriel, do you run off to help? All right.
Anduriel gets up and he goes and helps.
Okay. So Lachlan, she looks over at you and she says, what aid are you hoping the wizardess can give you?
We need to kill Mrs. Waterford, get inside the castle, exorcise a demon or a devil who has possessed the guildmaster of the Miners Guild.
Guildmaster Travers is possessed.
Yep, indeed.
Oh, well, that doesn't explain everything away. The halt to trade. Don't you know that's half the problem, that and the bloody red caps.
Yeah, lots to do, and wizards tend to be handy in a pinch.
Aye. Will you stay the night then, before you head out to the wizardess's tower?
If you think it's safe.
To stay the night, aye. I think it's safe. It's safer for you to stay here. At least we can defend it, and I've loaded a crossbow. I have it. I paid for it. Good coin. Anyone tries to come through that front door, and this time I'll shoot them dead.
Sounds good.
You're welcome to stay the night. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. I'll do my best to keep you safe, but I do have my concerns about it. I don't know if we have any beds that might fit him. You're a big one. You're welcome to try, but
I appreciate your kindness.
And you're a priest too.
I am, milady.
And what god do you serve?
The supreme goddess of light and the sun, Hemina.
Oh, we don't have many of Jimena's folk. In fact, I don't know much about her, to be honest with you, but you're welcome. As far as I'm concerned, the more of you priests we can have in town, the better. You do seem to be coming in like there's some sort of convention.
When the forces of evil rise, the forces of good rise up to match them.
And it's too bad Anduriel is not there to roll his eyes. Okay, Anything that you guys would like to do before you rest for the evening?
Yeah, I need to chat with the party.
Okay.
I've got some questions that I really, really would like to get answered.
All right, you can ask them anything that you would like to while you guys are eating your stew.
Okay.
And Duriel's back for this.
Okay.
I want to do one thing. I want to make a pretty showy act of us leaving the tavern, and then see if there's a way we can sneak back in to stay the night, but so that any patrons out there think that we've left.
Okay.
How exactly would you propose a giant and a dragon sneak into the tavern?
She actually does have a back entrance to the tavern that she can receive shipments through. So she actually can. There's a hallway back through the kitchen that will lead to the back end of the tavern for her deliveries. So she does actually have the means to do that quite successfully. So anyway, Ruby and Duriel bring in the artifacts from the church, and including the carefully wrapped staff that Sister Confratia used in the chapel when she took on the Angel of Protection form. And she just kind of loads their trunks and everything back into the storage room that is kind of behind the area where you guys are sitting. And then Enduriel, you sit back down. Enduriel, she's brought you a bowl of stew, even though you don't really consume the stew so much.
I'll
Physically,
take it.
No, he politely accepts it. Thank you very much. It smells delicious. And he eats it. He's not gonna.
Okay. All right. So he
He's
eats
only
that.
a jerk to him. He's only a jerk to these guys.
Well, it's hard to be a jerk to Madame Dimitri.
Right?
She's awfully supportive. But anyway, so you're free to ask them anything you want to while you're eating, Moral Khan.
You all keep talking about this faith of man. Like, who exactly is this faith of man? Who is
Right, she
this
lets you
Mrs.
speak.
Waterford?
She lets you speak, but Madame Dimitri goes, ugh. I have to go back out there. And then she goes, kind of disgusted, goes back out to the common room.
we discovered from a messenger from my goddess that the faith of man are serving. They're a false group that is opposed to the gods, that serve a fallen angel who has become a devil, and they're aligned with one of the archfey and one of the demon lords. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. And they're trying to turn people away from their faith in the gods by trying to, with these twisted ideas of, oh, they're self-sufficient and they only need to worship themselves and they can do everything themselves, but it's all just nonsense to lure them into serving a devil.
They come in under the guise of trying to help, trying to bring light into people's lives, and they end up stabbing them in the back. It's very interesting.
That is disgusting.
Our first encounter with the faith of man involved them a setup where Redcaps had taken out a squad of Just Blades, and then this Mrs. Waterford and a couple of her cronies showed up as if to save the day, even though it was all prearranged. So everything that they have portrayed here in winning the affection of the people is all false and hollow.
Yes, they keep selling a cure to the disease that they're causing.
That was poetic. I'm writing that one down, Gizik.
Ooh.
There's his wisdom score on display.
Well put, sir.
That is just disgusting. Even if it is more disgusting than Naylock, that is quite nasty. Tell me, do any of you recognize this symbol?
Make a knowledge religion check, DC 14.
I recognize it.
Let's It's a
I
got
20.
it. I got a 21.
Okay.
At 23.
All right. So you guys recognize it quite easily as the standard for the United Coalition of Faiths, the organization that used to exist in the city of Valoria before it fell, with priestly representatives of most of the churches and cults on in the Eastlands.
That's a coalition symbol.
Interesting. Himina showed unto me a vision in which there were many bearing this symbol out fighting demons. You said you had fought a demon yourself, yes?
Devil, demon.
How
Bad guys.
how did you manage to defeat it?
We punched it a lot. we had the help of a druid that he came and is quite useful.
Well, if merely punching a lot is all it takes to take out these demons, then
Well, it's enough when I'm the one punching.
I may be a very valuable service to you.
Do you think your vision was of the past or the future?
It is most definitely the future,
How can you be sure?
because she guided me here. It wouldn't have been for something that had already happened. It would be for something that is yet to happen.
Do you think Hamina wants you to find the coalition or find the remnants?
Would I know if the coalition has been completely just disbanded, or
It wasn't disbanded; it was wiped out. It was wiped out when the
Decimated.
city that it existed in was sacked and destroyed by an army of demons and devils.
Okay. No, I do know that this vision was definitely not from the past. Horta still stands, and in my vision, Horta was about to fall.
Horta is the capital city of the state that you guys are in. You're in the town of Winterrun in the state of Horta, but Horta is also the name of the capital city of this state.
And Duriel, what do you think? Could his vision mean that we need to hunt for someone that might know of the coalition?
The coalition definitely needs to be reformed. That is certain.
How?
Well, that is less certain.
Okay, you say that, and Brother Ferrante pipes up. He's not. I mean, there's not room for him to sit necessarily, but he's standing there eating a bowl of soup, and he says, "Hope Master Andante could have helped you." And then he just goes back to eating. That's all he says.
How is that? Come again? Hope Master Andante. How could he help us?
Well, the Hope Master was a member of the coalition. So was Brother Havernell, quite a long time ago, before they received the pulpit of Winterrun.
Oh, great. Tell us after he dies.
Yeah, we would have tried harder to protect him.
Okay, you say that, and Brother Ferrante just
No, I didn't.
no. Yeah,
No, I did, though. Tact is not one of
Yeah.
my
No, it's not.
strong
Play your-
character suits.
Play your character. Yeah, Brother Ferrante is just disgusted with you, Gizek, and he glares at you, but he doesn't say anything. He just keeps eating because, the life-saving.
I'm not sure whether or not I realize how upset he is.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
care?
you're so used to being glared at. I mean, what,
It's natural.
Is this Hope Master Andante also dead?
We hope not.
he's
Not
not
that we
dead.
know of, but finding him has become more of a priority than it already was, and it was one of our top priorities.
He's trapped in the castle. He's being held in Castle Winterrun, and nobody's been into Castle Winterrun for over a month, I'd say. Means there's been no trial. And he keeps eating it. The more he talks, the more angry he gets. There's been no trial, and he takes another bite, and he's angry. He's like, we haven't heard any communications from the chapel or from the Just Blade station there. And my chapel's getting filthy.
Is he like Lord Denethor from Return of the King? He's like, until he starts bleeding out of the side of his mouth.
Tomato juice that looks like blood. Why, are you going to bite him? Yeah. No.
Set my stew aside.
Yeah.
Tempting.
No, he's just angrily shoving spoonfuls of soup into his mouth, and Sister Contratia sets her bowl down on the table, and she just comes over and kind of gives him a side hug, and she says, Faith, brother, we'll see Hope Master Andante out of the castle. We'll see him back in the chapel. You mark my words. They're going to find him.
Let's go get him.
Okay. So
Morro, do you have any other questions?
If I may be so bold, it may be that we are the beginning fruits of this coalition. If Hamina has shown me this in a vision, it may be that she is guiding us to refound this coalition.
That makes sense. Here we are, representatives of how many different gods?
up to
Four
date,
so far.
Just us working together. We
five.
might as well be the coalition.
6 actually, if you count Kalen and Thora.
Yeah. Well, and Bestera, we got. I
7.
mean, they're not very useful, but they're not totally useless.
Well,
Please tell me he says that out loud.
yeah,
No,
I was gonna ask, did you say that out loud in front of
no. He'll say this. It's a little more tactful. Well, every organization needs the support of people in the home base. And he actually pats Brother Ferrante on the back.
Okay. Brother Ferrante looks up and he says, I have to tell you, I'm awfully concerned about that. We sent word to St. Marcus quite some time ago in the east that we needed help, that Hope Master Andante had been arrested. I would have thought that by now someone from St. Marcus or even from Ironmeat would have come down by now to offer us some kind of relief, or one of the other Hope Masters would have responded. We've had no word.
We have to assume the faith of man would have done everything in their power to stop your message from getting through.
Well, someone has to get through. If maybe Sister Contrati and I should take the wagon all the way to Horta, to the Halls of Protection itself.
Perhaps you should.
All right, you say that, and Sister Contratia, the blood drains out of her face again, and she goes, "Oh, I mean, that's a 10-day journey. I'm not sure. Is it safe?"
No, of course not. The faith of man has been attacking people on the road. They're like common brigands or knights.
Okay. The Red Caps will murder you dead before you ever...
Well, they will.
Right. Sister Contratia swoons a little bit, and Brother Ferrante, he takes her by the arms and kind of shakes her a little bit gently, and he says, Now, sister, we didn't take vows just for safety. We serve the goddess of protection, and frankly, we haven't been able to do much of that for these people. If the best we can do is to set out and try to get help from the halls of protection, then maybe that's the offering that we need to make to the goddess.
What's pulling the cart?
A horse, a pony.
So, Lachlan says maybe instead of a cart that would attract more attention, the two of you should just ride on the horse, and you might make better time that way.
Okay. He looks and he kind of nods, and he says, "Well, there should be at least one priest of Bestera in the city. There should always be in the town. Excuse me." He says there should always be a priest of Bestera. Maybe I should go and Sister Contratia can stay here.
Isn't the Hope Master still here?
He is indisposed at the moment, but yes.
he's here.
All right. He says, I think it's better if she stays here. I'll travel faster on the horse by myself. It's settled. I'll leave in the morning. And then he finishes his stew and puts his bowl down with quite a bit of emphasis, and then looks to head out the door and realizes he doesn't know where he's going. And so he goes out to find Madame Dimitri. Anything else that you want to ask Morocon, or that Morocon would ask you before you sit out in the morning?
More. So is this faith of man in league with these devils?
They do serve them, yes.
Very well. Then I have a second enemy. And if this Miss Waterford is in league with this faith of man, then off with her head as well.
I'd love to, as a paladin of the goddess of justice and truth, I would love to see her tried and executed properly. But sometimes we have to be the executors of justice when every system has failed. Though the Just Blades, I still have hope that we can turn some of the Just Blades to our cause.
Madame Dimitri said you'd already turned some of them to your cause, so heading to the chapter house to work with them is not a horrible idea.
Well, we should talk to the wizardess first, and then maybe head there.
Wizard.
Okay. All right. So unless there's anything else you want to do, you guys head out in the morning. Madame Dimitri packs you a basket of food and offers it to you, whether you take it or not. I'm assuming Gizik will take it if no one else does. And she packs you some fried chicken, biscuits, some okra, and but corn on the cob, just all kinds of soul food, and puts way too much butter on everything. Anyway, and she tells you that the wizardess Lysinopril has her tower, so is whatever they call it. They call it her tower. Her tower is in the hillocks, which is kind of a more well-to-do area. Castle Winter Run is actually in the hillocks itself. And for that matter, so is the chapter house of the Just Blades. So you guys head out, and she gives you she says it's very easy to spot, and she tells you, from what she's heard, it's not actually a tower. It's an estate, and it's a very nice estate with a lovely garden in the front. It's kind of unmistakable because of that, and that if you just ask around, that you'll be able to find it rather easily. It's kind of in the western part, Castle Winter Run, and the chapter house of the Just Blades is more to the east. But you guys are easily able to find it. As you come up, this is the area that you start approaching, right there. Okay. And so you guys are kind of at the very base of that as you approach on square 28. It's beautiful. There's a stream that is running just past this lovely estate. That the estate itself is up on a hill, kind of, and it's very beautiful. And moreover, the estate is covered in ivy, and you can even see from the distance that you're at now that the estate is completely covered over in a beautiful, thriving green ivy. It's also covered in moss. In fact, as you come approaching, even from the distance you're at, you can even see that you can't find the entrance, really. There's no obvious front door, and as you come up on it, you're not sure if you've come up upon the back, the porch, or if you've come up in the backyard. But it's quite the sprawling estate, much bigger, of course, than the Rose Garden Tavern, completely covered over. And anyway, so that is where you are. And as you begin approaching, you catch sight of a gentleman who is standing on that bridge in square 13I. And he's just kind of leaning over on the side of the bridge, looking into the water, has a big smile on his face. And he hasn't seemed to notice you yet.
13I.
Is anyone going to approach, or?
Yeah, let's go up to him.
Okay.
So I assume it's like morning.
Yeah, you headed out in the morning, so it's probably in the neighborhood of 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Okay. I'll just hail him from around the path and say, "Good morning, sir."
Okay. He didn't notice you. He seemed kind of just lost in the beauty surrounding him, lost in thought, kind of the opposite of the brooding that Anduriel does. He's kind of just delighted by everything around him. And he looks up at you and he says, "Oh, welcome. Well, you don't look like the usual brigands and peasants. Have you come to drink of the blood regardless and make the covenant? You'll be a drone in the army, of course, but a drone is better than being eaten by the hive, am I right?"
What?
Pardon my ignorance, but what in the world are you talking about, sir?
Oh, you're not here to make the covenant?
What? Tell us of this covenant. Maybe we are.
Oh, I don't know if I should do that. How close are you now? Tell me where your characters are.
I would be. I'm not going to cut through the bushes, so I'm picturing coming. Oh, that's water. That's water, though, huh?
That is a stream. Yeah, and the bridge goes across the stream.
So we would have to be going like around the other way.
You would have to come around that bush in the center if you were
So we
going
could
to
be-
approach.
We can be at the foot of the bridge, right?
You want to come to the foot of the bridge?
I'm thinking maybe I-18.
Okay. All right, that's about as close as he'll let you get. He is himself kind of stands at the top of the apex. He is in 11I.
Okay.
Okay.
Does he look nervous?
He doesn't. Well, I don't know. Let's see how well you read him. Make an insight check. Are you trained in insight, Morocon?
No.
Okay, then you add half your level and your wisdom modifier of nothing. So you have a +1 to this roll.
Ooh, 2.
2. Okay, Morocon, you're kind of like trying to read him, and you get the unmistakable impression that he wants cheese really bad. Like like you look at him and you're like, that man right there is looking for some cheddar, maybe Gouda. And that's kind of what you pick up from him.
I want to also make a check.
Go ahead, make an insight check. See how well you read it.
I got a 26.
Okay. All right, Lachlan, with your 26, you pick up on the fact that he's not so much, he's not really nervous. He doesn't seem alarmed, but he's cautious. He's not quite sure what to say to you.
Does he seem sane?
He seems a little giddy, but he doesn't look like a raving lunatic.
I want to use my heart sight and see what I can see about his love.
Okay. He is full of love. Like, I mean, he's just radiating love. You do pick up with your heart sight that he has some strange loves. Like, he has some weird fetishes, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe you get the idea from watching his aura that his love and affection for people might be lesser than his love and affection for, I don't know, poodles, linoleum, garden lamps, sunshine, who knows? Cheese. But yeah, he's quite full of affection.
So Dr. Strangelove here on the bridge.
Yeah. Anyway, he looks at you and he says, well, if you're not here to make the covenant, then what brought you here? Nobody visits the... Well, I don't remember what her name is. Nobody visits her. Why are you here?
Well, we've come. We're not from Winterrun, so we've come to meet the wizardess.
Ugh. You've come to meet the wizardess. Well, are you sure you don't...
Wizard.
Are you sure you don't want to make the covenant? I mean... I've got everything ready.
There are two things I'm quite sure we have not come for, and that is to make the covenant and to talk to you. Please move on. We need to see what this.
Oh, he goes, oh, you're not adventurers, are you? Bless the waters, but can't you read the currents in this town? Winterrun has been claimed, my friend. There is not here for you, but death. However, death is a worthy enough goal in and of itself. I'm happy to oblige you. Sargasso, dear, the mortals want to dither.
What's the covenant?
Oh, he says, well, so you're interested in making the covenant?
Well, I need to know what it is.
Well, it's power. What else would it be?
Ooh. Could you tell us more?
Okay. All right. He said, he gestures back behind the bridge, and there is an altar back there. And he says, to swear the covenant is to embrace the power of bloodshed. There's great strength to be derived therein. And from there, once you've gained a bit of fey blood, I mean, what isn't possible? Even the Archfey started off as dryads, gnomes, She, Eladrin. You take your pick. They all started somewhere. It's a path to power. It's a wise path to power.
Go on.
I'll nudge Gizik. Stop it.
Okay. No, I want to hear more.
All right. He says, to drink of the blood and take the covenant is to engage in the act of becoming. He says, it's to unlock the potential of fey blood within you. He says, although, from the looks of you, I'd say you already have a measure of fey blood, don't you? Are you a changeling? He's talking to you, Gizik.
No.
Well, are you interested in taking the covenant? Whatever fey blood within you, I'm sure my lord can augment.
Who is your lord?
I don't know that you need to know that unless you're going to take the covenant. I mean, maybe I'd be happy to tell you, but Grumpy Pants over here, he points to Anduriel. Well, he doesn't look like the kind to take a good deal right in front of him and bit him on the nose. I don't suppose you'd be willing to run him through.
I don't know.
I've never known the Fae to make a good deal.
Oh, well, now that's just rude.
Gizik?
All right, he looks around and goes, Sargassa, dear, I think we're going to have to kill someone. Just more your thing than mine.
Before the killing, let's hope we don't have to go there.
Okay, out of the little stream in square 14S rises up a beautiful blue-skinned woman in a white, kind of a white gossamer kind of slip of clothing, really. It's like half dress, half short. I mean, you're not quite sure what it is. It's very wild looking. Her skin, and as you approach, both of their skin is pretty vibrant blue, but her skin is more greenish blue, aquamarine, and his skin is kind of bright sky blue. You can make a knowledge arcana check to identify what they are.
Hey, look at that, natural 20.
Okay, natural 20 for him or for her?
Oh, I thought they were the same.
They're not.
He'll be looking at the girl, so.
Okay. All right. Lachlan, you are reasonably sure, based on her appearance and the fact that she has arisen out of the water, that she is a siren.
Oh, them's dangerous.
But what a way to go.
Particularly for you.
Yeah. Lachlan, you've heard all kinds of stories about sirens. I don't know who's in chat who is As in Theories TV. He says, what? He says, what did I just walk into? I don't know how long ago he wrote that. You may have walked into a seduction with a siren. Let's see how this goes. So anyway, Lachlan, you've heard all kinds of stories about sirens. You would, being that they are creatures that manipulate affection, you actually have been trained to fight them. So you will receive a +1 to attack and damage if you get into combat with her, and you will receive a +1 to all of your defenses against her attacks. You are well versed in the lore of creatures that manipulate the heart. So she rises up out of the water as you are about to ask your question, Lachlan, and she says, we're killing someone? They didn't want to drink? And she looks at you and she goes, are you sure you don't want to drink? How about having a drink with me?
Well, this covenant sounds interesting, but wait. Are you with the faith of man?
All right, she looks over at you, Gizik, and she says, ooh, hag spawn. You're not going to let him drink, are you?
In the mind link, I want to say to the party, be careful, she's a siren. She will mess with your head.
Okay, Lachlan, you know that she'll mess with their minds, and you understand that you have power over her because she manipulates affection. And so you do have the potential to use your channel divinity to break her hold over another person, just to let you know. So anyway, none of them have recognized you, but she did look at you, Gizik, and say, ew, hag spawn. So you're present in your mind, Lachlan, that if you stay close to them, that you'll be able to protect them. But if they get close to her and you're not close to her, you can't use Bastion of Mental Protection or channel divinity to break that. Just letting you know.
Did we ever figure out what he is? Like,
nobody's made a check yet. Go for it. Make an Arcana check.
I got an 18.
You got an 18?
Yeah.
Here, I'll roll for that.
I also got an
13.
13? Okay, Gizik, you think, well, okay, first of all, Morocon, you're reasonably sure that he's just some kind of an elf. You think he might be a sea elf? The sea elves do maintain...
Who likes cheese?
Yeah, well, she definitely likes cheese.
Blue cheese, in fact.
Yeah, blue cheese, even. Now, Gizik, I will tell you with... What did you roll, Gizik?
13.
13. Gizik, you think that maybe he's some kind of a triton, perhaps, or a mer creature, maybe a merman who's got some kind of humanoid shape. And Duriel and Lachlan.
Merman!
He is by the river.
That he is one of the she. Now, in other worlds, the people of the Feywild are the Eladrin. But on Ienia, the people who are most populous are the she. They're a race of Fey creatures that have the ability to become small and take like a sprite form. They can turn invisible. They're pretty whimsical. They're pretty unreliable. They have great passions, great humor, but also very capricious and unreliable. They're fond of mortals, but they're just as fond of torturing mortals. So she's a siren, and Uriel, you and Lachlan realize that he is one of the she.
Well, Morocon's going to clench his fist and tense up.
I say to the siren, I say, maybe not a drink, but how about we sing a duet?
Are you musical, dear one?
I pop my lute around and strum a few chords.
Okay. Lachlan, she looks at you, and she does start singing.
Well, they're all distracted. I want to start walking towards the cup.
Okay. You start walking towards the cup. Lachlan, she attacks you with her song. So, my friends, Roll initiative.
Ten.
Oh, lovely.
8. And I'm changing dice.
Okay. Okay. Morocon 10, Gizik 8, Anduriel,
15.
and Lachlan.
18.
Okay. Alrighty. And the siren. Ooh, she is a slow little girl. She rolls herself a 5.
Hooray.
She is Sargassa is channeling Sister Contratia, apparently. And the he rolls himself a 14.
That's the dude on the bridge, right?
That's the dude on the bridge.
Okay. Now, real quick, where is everybody?
Yes, please tell me where you are.
I-18.
Okay, Lachlan, you are in I-18. None of you told me that you were moving past Lachlan, so you need to be within 1 or 2 squares behind him somewhere.
Okay.
Well, I did just say I was going to be walking towards
the cup?
the cup.
Okay.
So where is that, like on the other side of the bridge?
Yeah, you're going to have to go past the bridge or over the bridge or around the bridge. On the other side of that bridge, that rectangle that you see is a little altar, and it's got a number of different things on it.
Like what? Like a slinky or?
Well, yes, it's fun for a girl and a boy. You can see that there.
A few nesting
All
dolls.
right, then. Since I just started to move forward, I'll put myself in, how about H17?
Okay.
I'll be in H18.
All right, we're all just clustered and ready for a fireball, aren't we?
We are at that.
All right,
I'm sure
Anduriel.
it won't last long.
Anduriel, do you want to be in them, or do you want to have circled around? Where do you want to be?
I-17.
Yeah, there we go.
I think I'm E. No, I think I'm probably G19.
Okay.
I was behind Morocon. I don't trust him, so I was kind of bringing up the rear.
Okay. Alrighty. So Lachlan, she looks at you and she starts singing, and you are immediately aware of the fact that she is imbuing her voice with magic. So your suggestion that she sing was taken, but Lachlan, you are first, my friend. You were the fastest.
Okay. I'm counting squares away from her.
Okay.
Oh, I'm exactly 10.
And what would you like to do with your exactly 10 squares away from her?
Move closer.
Wave. Hi, Siren.
Like to take a full round action to flirt.
You probably.
No,
Can I call
I
you
wanna
Sty?
I want to start. I want to hit her with Stirring Shout. What's her will?
Well, it's probably pretty good. Her will is 16.
Oh, I can do that. And I get a +1 to attack, right? You
You
said?
get a +1 to attack her.
Okay, I got a 23, so
Okay.
Is she gonna deflect this?
No, she's not. You hit her.
Kapow. All right, here goes. She's gonna take 14 points of psychic damage.
Okay. It does not seem to harm her as efficiently, if you know what I mean.
Like 9.
Like maybe it did 9. maybe she's got a little psychic resistance. You're not surprised. Excuse me. You're not surprised by the fact that she has psychic resistance. You would have kind of anticipated that she had some, but she's still susceptible. So what else happens?
So the effect is until the end of the encounter, anybody who hits her regains 4 hit points.
Ooh.
So I want to make her a juicy target, and she's gonna know it.
All right. Stirring Shout Regain 4 hit points. Anybody that hits her. All right. Oh, she loves you.
And then I want to move to N16.
Okay.
And I'm going to use Bardic Inspiration. I want to inspire Enduriel.
What do you sing about? What inspires Enduriel?
Something with blood, like.
Well, hey, they did offer to give him a drink of blood, so
He starts singing, "Keep bleeding, keep bleeding."
That's awesome. Okay. I cut me open. Okay. All right, Enduriel, he's singing about bloodlust and people letting veins, and you're like, you start to get hungry.
That's my jam.
Yeah. I don't know that I would have done that, but I think that was probably a good move. So
he starts tapping his toe. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Enduriel, you are inspired. Lachlan, you still have a minor action, or is that your minor? You're moving your standard?
That's my minor.
Are you calling it good?
Pardon?
You want to use your action point, or are you calling it good?
Calling it good for now.
Okay, Enduriel, you're up, my friend.
Okay. Well, I feel inspired.
You do.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go over and help Lachlan out because that seems like the right thing to do.
Okay. How exactly do you mean to help a brother out?
Charge.
Well, it looks as though the water lady wants to harm him, and so it's time to harm her back. So I'm gonna run and I guess charge because I don't have enough speed to get there.
All right.
3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's either a charge or take 2 moves, right?
Yep. You get a move and charge with a melee basic attack, or you can take double moves to get to her.
And
but then
do
you won't have an
nothing.
attack. Yeah. Then you'll
All right,
only
yeah.
have a minor action.
We go and charge.
Okay. Tell me what square you want to end up in.
I'm going to have to be in R15.
R15. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Enduriel, R15. Get her. Melee basic attack. Her AC is 18. Pretty high.
And I get a +7. Does the brooch of vitality doesn't give me anything for my attack?
Nope.
Okay. So that is a 19. 19. Why is 19?
Why is that? Why are you fricking her?
Because
AC?
it was the one away from 20.
Oh, okay. Well, her AC is 18, so hit.
I mean, cool.
Okay. So you freaking hit. It's very good.
That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just the 11 points of damage.
Okay. Okay, how did you do 11 points of damage? You are at a +4 damage with your kukri. So the max you could get is 10.
Oh, I'm sorry. I added my weapon attack.
Your vampire attack?
I did the vampire attack instead. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, you have a +4 to whatever you roll. What did you roll?
Mine says I have a +5 with my weapon attack.
Do you? Maybe I'm
Well,
looking
that's-
at the old version. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at level 2 Enduriel. So, you
Let me
may
reroll
very well-
the 1d6. I'll reroll the 1d6.
Do you remember what you got?
Oh, but I like this one better. I got a 6.
Okay. There are strange things afoot. Okay.
No, I can. I got
Okay.
a 4. I got a 4 before. So
All right,
I'll
so-
add. So I'll add 5. 9. I got 9.
Okay.
9 points of damage.
Alrighty.
I don't want to tempt fate
You mean by cheating her?
by cheating her. Yeah,
That's always a
She's a-
wise endeavor.
she's a fickle mistress.
All right, so Enduriel, you go charging around and across, and you come up on her. Lachlan does his stirring shout, and she holds her hands over her ears, and you come up and you attack with your kukri. And where do you cut her? Where do you strike?
She's holding her arm up.
Yeah, she's holding both of her arms like this.
I just go for her arms, like.
Okay. So you walk up and
to-
you ginsu on the arm. She's like, and she's like, ah, she's trying to defend, but she realizes that you're cutting the arm she's defending with, and she seems pretty distressed.
Okay.
Okay. Anything you want to do with your minor action, Enduriel?
I'm going to use Charming Gaze. It's
Okay.
a close blast 5. The target can't make an opportunity attack or take immediate actions till end.
Alrighty.
It gives me a bonus to my bluff for diplomacy checks.
Okay. So you hit her with your charming gaze, so your eyes blaze. What color, Enduriel?
They actually blaze kind of a silver.
Okay. So not that you're sparkling.
No.
Yeah. All right. So you cut her, and she pulls her arms back and looks at you, and then your eyes glow silver, and she's like shaking her head, like, "Wait, that's my trick. Don't get out of my head." And that would be Enduriel's turn. Okay. Now it is the she's turn. He looks thoroughly irritated at you, Enduriel, and looks up at you and he says, "Don't you touch her, you filthy undead!" And then he is going to...
I'm not filthy.
He is going to... He is going to pull out a set of panpipes, and he starts playing a melody on his panpipes, Enduriel, and a couple of things happen. The first thing that happens is that the foliage and the bushes and trees around all of you guys begin moving. They begin undulating according to the notes of the song he plays.
Right.
And the water begins flowing faster down the stream, and it gives off steam and takes on kind of a greenish color. And Enduriel, he plays off a song, and he tries to get you. He tries to get into your head with it. What is your will, Enduriel?
Will. 16.
Okay, he has a +8. He needs an 8 to get you. Oh, you are such a lucky little vampire. He rolls a natural 20. But this is not a damage attack, so he can't slay you outright with this. It's just a manipulation. However, what
lucky.
he does is going to suck for you, Enduriel. Enduriel, he makes you move 5 squares. The first thing he does is move you away from the siren into the water. So she takes an attack of opportunity on you.
You can't Charming Gaze.
Oh, charming gaze.
Oh, charming gaze.
Nice. So Enduriel, she wants to attack you. You feel loss of control. You've seen Lachlan do this to people before. He plays on the panpipes like, or whatever, and your body starts moving. She looks at you, and she comes at you like she is about to. What is she wielding? Yeah, she looks like she's about to stab you with a dagger, Enduriel. And but you look at her and you freeze her in place with your gaze, and she can't move. You give her a little blue steel, and she can't move. However,
Magnum.
you do hit the water,
Mm-hmm.
and it hits you. Enduriel, you take 13 points of acid damage. You are knocked prone.
Dang.
And the stream is going to carry you 5 squares away. So, Enduriel, you wind up on square 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enduriel, you wind up on square 12N and prone in this bubbling and burning water.
Okay.
The water, you realize, burns you like acid, but before you do that, he takes you past the bush that you were standing past.
Mm-hmm.
It attacks you and hits you also.
Oh man, this is.
And you take 9 points of damage from thorns and vines that come out of the bush. and ongoing poison damage 5.
Okay.
You just got hurt. Like a lot.
Yeah, that's gonna sting. That'll leave a mark.
You take ongoing poison 5, and as long as you are in the acidic water, you're going to take ongoing acid 5, and you are prone. So you're going to take 10 points of damage at the start of your turn, unless someone does something to give you a save or get you out of the water. So you are burning. Poor Anduriel he jumps into the stream, goes past the bush, gets whipped, and gets carried upstream by the water.
Okay.
Hey Matt, if he moves to square N13, will he be considered out of the water?
If he moves to N13,
Yeah.
It's half in, half out.
no, that's still in the water. It would still be touching him, and he would still be burning.
Okay. I was just thinking Gizzet could bewitch him and move him a square, but
Okay. And with his move action,
Well, as an immediate reaction to that, Anduriel spitting poisonous water out of his mouth but he's quite angry.
is he a bit grumpy?
He shouts, "Naylock, bring to life the power of my shadow." And it's the shadow of Naylock, and I'm hitting the she.
Okay. So he is now suffering from your shadow and taking ongoing 5 damage.
Ongoing 5 necrotic. Yeah.
Okay. Anduriel, you're like, and you manage to raise your head up above the water enough to shout this, and your shadow takes off and like leaps for him through the air. And he's not going to like that.
It's choking him.
And with his move action, he is going to turn. You know what? He is going to teleport away from your shadow. But I don't think he realizes that that's not going to do him any good. So he teleports. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He teleports back to square 3I. But your shadow has latched onto him and teleports with him. And so he's like it's choking him, and he's teleported back, but that's all he does. It's his turn. Morocon, my friend, it is your turn.
So the she is way off the bridge now,
He
right?
is way the heck far away from you.
Well, dang it. Okay. Well, the closest enemy now is that siren lady, so I guess I will. I guess I'll sprint toward her.
Okay. Let's see.
See, how close am I?
Okay, you are pretty close. So just count. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're 10 squares away from her, from where she was. However, Morocon, you need to be careful, because you have realized that if you go past that bush, it's going to attack you.
Ah.
If you
Okay.
enter the water where she is, it's going to burn you.
are all the bushes like that now?
All the plants that you see on that map are now moving and undulating. And I don't mean they're like dancing like on Super Mario Brothers, like do 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 do. It's not like that. Okay, they're not happy dancing trees.
They're like ants.
They're like smash you, like swipe at you with claw branches and whatnot.
Like a whomping willow.
Like a whomping willow or an ant. Very nice nerd references, Ben, I must say. I'm impressed with you. I don't know what the audience is, but I am. Very nice. You're in the right place.
In that case, I think I'm going to start moving closer to the she. He needs to be dealt with.
Okay.
So I guess I will probably move to where he was. That's about as far as I can go, right?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you run, you can charge attack him, but you will take a -5 to your attack. However, you would be able to get to him and attack.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to do that then.
All right, so you can go charging over the bridge, Morocon. There is no ill effect on that bridge.
Oh, that's good to know.
So apparently, Morocon, the bridge is safe. Now, you may attack with a charge attack. I don't know that you have any powers that can be used with a charge, do you?
I don't believe so.
It does not look like you do. I'm not seeing one. But you can make a melee basic attack at a +8.
Correct.
Okay. The she's AC is not over there. It's over here. Sorry. The she's AC is 19, my friend. So you will only have a +3. You will need to roll a 16 or higher.
All
But
right.
you do get a +1 from charging.
Yes. So you will need to roll a 15 or higher.
Right. 15.
That is a whack, my friend. So roll the 1d8 and add 4.
Oops. There we go. So 10.
Okay. Now, Morocon, remember, you also have the Stone Fist ability.
I sure do.
Every time you hit, I'm assuming you would like to use this on him.
Oh, please.
All right, so you actually do 16 points of damage. Okay. And it's your attack, Morocon. How do you hit him?
Well, I'm going to be charging him, so it'll be akin to I'm going to wind up just as I get off of the bridge, and as I approach him, it's just going to follow straight through.
Okay. Which is probably really disconcerting. He teleports, and Duriel's shadow is choking him. He's like, ah! And here comes this enormous... How tall are you?
I don't know, like 7'2", maybe.
Okay, here comes this enormous 7'2" dragonborn. He goes charging across that little bridge, and the wood like cracks under him because he's so heavy. You can tell like this was a lovely little spot that was not built for enormous dragonborn to go charging over. So he goes charging, crack. You hear the wood under him, and the she's and you slam into his chest with your fist. And you guys hear bone crack. He's not made for taking hits like that. So you slam into him, and it hurts. And he is winded, but that's it. Now, you also have a minor action, Morocon. You have a couple things you can do with your minor action.
I will do nothing for now.
Okay, you could breathe fire on him, or you could channel divinity.
Oh, that's true. You know what? I am going to channel divinity.
Okay. All right, what do you say?
I will speak in a very loud draconic voice. By the power of the Everfire, let the holy light shine through my faith.
Okay, so what do you look like as this happens, as it surrounds you?
It would look as though I have that the sun is shining on me, almost like a Mr. Bean moment at the beginning, like.
Okay. Okay. Oh, beautiful. All right. So Morocon goes charging over, cracks into him, grabs his holy symbol, and you guys can't. Do any of you speak Draconic?
And Duriel does.
And Duriel does.
Okay, and Duriel, you hear his prayer to Hemina, and he, for a moment there, your perspective switches. Everybody knows where the sun is in the sky when you're outside because you can feel where the light's coming from. And you and Duriel would be more sensitive to that than anybody would, right? But for a moment, you're not sure where the sun is. It's an optical trick, and the sun seems to be shining from him, and it is still surrounding him. He is the sun for all intents and purposes. It's in two places. It's very, very bright. It goes out just one square, but you get the sense that if you were to get near him, it would be really bad for you.
And Duriel rolls his eyes.
Whatever. I'm afraid of your sunlight. It's like,
My shadow's better than your sunlight.
yeah. And Duriel, your shadow does not seem to react. So for a moment there, the sun is shining. but it's almost like the dark and the light are fighting for supremacy inside of his aura. But you can see both of them. It's almost like there's a black spot in the middle of the sun, and she screams. He's like, "Oh my!" He's having a bad day too. So
This poor little she just can't decide which he would prefer, the darkness or the light.
yeah, it's really bad. Okay,
He's
Gizik,
into
my
one
friend,
of them.
it is your turn.
Do I need to do 1d6 damage on him, or is that it?
Not until the beginning of his turn,
Ah, okay.
I believe. Unless, let me just double check real quickly. Your character sheet. He's so he's not entering or starting his turn. So when he starts his turn,
okay.
it's gonna hurt. Yeah, Gizik, my friend, it is your turn.
I'm gonna walk over to the middle of the bridge, J11,
Okay.
and try to bewitch the she.
All right. His will is 17. Go for it.
Okay, I think that's a 15.
Okay. That is not good enough, my friend.
Nope, it's not. So
Lachlan, can you help him? You will?
I will attack him with Sap the Soul, which is against Fortitude.
Okay.
And alright, that's a 29.
His fortitude is only 17, so that more than enough does it.
Okay. So then it will be loads of damage. Let's see.
we love loads of damage.
7 damage. And I get 2 temporary hit points.
Okay. I'm assuming, Gizik, that you are going to launch it behind him so that it doesn't hit Morocon.
Yes.
Are you sure you don't want to hit Morocon? I mean, you did hit Lachlan.
There is a
and,
precedent.
There is a precedent.
I know, and I learned my lesson. I'm so much better with targeting my... It's not even... I'm used to the spell. I've been using it for a while. I know how to hit with it.
Okay. Very nice. All right, so Morocon, you are slightly disturbed as you watch a kind of a nimbus of red lightning explode behind the she, and then you see blood, kind of like vitality and blood, kind of like flowing through the air out of him, and you look back and Gizik's like just absorbing the blood. It's not pretty magic. Let me just put it that way. Morocon, no one in the Citadel of Light can do this. Just so you know.
Yeah. I'll look back at Gizik and be like,
Okay. I don't know what that looks like on a Dragonborn, so I don't know if it's a look.
it is
It's a
definitely a look.
Okay, Gizik, that is your move and your minor and your standard. Do you want to use your action point? Or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, now it would be Sargassa's turn, the siren. Oh, she is really unhappy.
Is it because she's in the acid river?
Well, Anduriel hit her, and she took 4 more points of damage, which I am remembering to mark off now, Lachlan. So, no, she's not bothered by the state of the river. She seems to be at peace. She is bothered by the fact that Lachlan hit her. Lachlan, Anduriel is kind of dealt with. He's prone, and he's come sail away, come sail, all that good stuff. So Lachlan, she is, I think, gonna go for you. She is going to use Song of the Seven Seas on you. What is your will, Lachlan?
It is 17.
Okay, this is a close burst, but she can only get one target, and what does she want to do? Does she want to get you, Lachlan? Or no, I think she wants Anduriel to hit you. So Anduriel, she's going for you. What's your will?
16.
Is it a close burst or an area burst?
It's a close burst 5.
Oh,
So she's too far away. Oh, never mind. She's not.
Okay, Anduriel, she got a 17, so that hits your will, correct?
Yes. It
Okay,
does.
alrighty.
what's your will?
16. She got me by 1.
I'm I'm gonna use it.
You're gonna do it?
Yep. Bastion of Mental Clarity. You get a +4 to will till the end of my next turn.
Yay!
Okay.
Sure, save the
So-
vampire.
And when he does it, he looks at her and he goes like this.
Okay. Lachlan, how do you counter?
It's
You counter-
it's mental. It's like it's totally mental. So it's in his in his mind, and it's just. But I'm sure what I picture her like as she tries to enter his mind, she feels a wall just kind of like pimp slap her back.
Uh-huh. Okay, so Lachlan, she starts singing, and you are immediately like aware of the fact that she is using her siren song, and that she looks at you and she looks at Anduriel and she smiles and starts singing like really loudly. And so she starts singing that, and Anduriel, you're like, and then Lachlan, you get in there and you shove her out of his mind, and she looks at you and she's like, oh, and she stomps her foot into the water. And Anduriel, you are aware that Lachlan has just saved you from being dominated. Like, for a brief second, Anduriel, you took one look at her and you were like, she is so beautiful. I just can't wait. I can't wait to do whatever kinky little thing she wants me to do.
Anduriel does not roll his eyes.
Okay. Oh. All right. However, you do feel Lachlan in your mind, Anduriel, and it is a little bit penetrating, I guess I'll say. It's a little disturbing. So,
Hello.
so hey there, hi there, ho there, and that is what she will do. Okay, that is Sargassa's turn. She's really angry. Does she want to move? Okay, I'll tell you what Sargassa does.
Please step on land.
She is angry enough, Lachlan, to use her action point on you. So she's gonna. Lachlan, what is your fortitude?
Fortitude 16.
Okay, she needs a 9 to get you. And she got a 9. Can you do anything?
No.
He can stand there.
All right, Lachlan, she uses Fury of the Ocean Waves on you. She lifts her hand up, and water gushes out of the stream and starts towards you in this enormous wave. You take 12 points of damage. You are knocked prone and dazed. Save ends.
Eesh, she's so rude.
How rude.
And that's dazed and prone, save ends, Lachlan. She hits you with this massive wave of water. Surprisingly enough, it doesn't burn you like it burned Anduriel when he entered, but it does hit you and it knocks you over, and the water is still kind of like messing with you and moving you. And that is what she does. And she looks at you and she goes, "Why don't you think that away?" And the pretty is kind of, I mean, it's rubbed off. She kind of says this. I mean, she sounds more like Gizik's mother at this point.
Ugh.
Mother?
Mommy. Okay. All right, back up to the top. Lachlan, you are dazed and prone, my friend. What are you going to do? You got one action.
Well, I want to start with Divine Metal
And
grant myself a save, because then I can get the rest of my turn.
okay.
So I gotta make a save with a +4 bonus. So got it. Easy peasy.
All right, so Lachlan, you break her her spell, and the water just kind of flows all over the grass.
And then with my move action, I know I'm still on my butt, but I want to use Majestic Word on Anduriel. And so he gets to spend a surge and regain an additional 4 hit points, and I get to slide him 2 squares.
In her
So-
direction, I'm hoping.
I will slide him into square 14M.
Okay. 14M is out of the water.
Yes, it is.
All right. Anduriel, you Lachlan hits you. What does your healing word look like, Lachlan? It's just rose-colored energy.
Yeah, it's actually a bard power. I just think it still takes on some religious overtones. So yeah,
I'm sure it does. If you were trained at the House of Repose. So Lachlan, he starts. Is it a song, Lachlan, or just a
song? Just a ditty. Yeah.
All right. And Duriel, he starts singing a song. You are covered by a rose-colored light, and it actually lifts you up out of the water that's like it's still flowing over you, burning you and drowning you. It lifts you up and it lands you out of the water, and your wounds heal up a little bit.
Huh.
And that is what happens to you. All right, Lachlan, that's your minor. You still got to move in a standard. What you gonna do?
Wait. I used a minor and a move. With my standard,
You want to stand up? Or are you going to attack her with a penalty?
I do, but I think I want to attack her with a penalty.
But,
Do it.
so you're sitting on the ground, but you're so pissed on the ground, you're going to...
Yeah, he's going to slam his sword and thrust it to her and do a staggering note.
Okay. What is that target?
Will.
All right, her will is 16, my friend.
Okay, I got a 19.
All right, that'll do.
So I can't grant an ally a basic attack, but I can shove her 3 squares and it's a push, 3 squared push, and do 5 thunder damage.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, Lachlan, you push her into square 11V. So for the rest of you, move her to 11V. Lachlan pushes her out of the water with his tuning fork kind of sword effect, and she takes 5 points of thunder damage, you say?
Yes.
Does he get to choose which way he pushes her, or does it just happen?
It's a push is always away from you.
Okay.
But it does, direction is not. Yeah, I can choose direction, but I can't. But it just has to be
Gotcha.
every square farther away.
Except it's not really 5 points of damage because you use Stirring Shout on her. So
that doesn't do extra damage.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, that heals me. I get 4 hit points back when I hit her.
All right. Well, congratulations on your 4 hit points back.
Yeah.
All right. And there was much rejoicing.
Yay.
Hooray!
Okay. Very good, Lachlan. All right. You want to use your action point, or are you going to call it good?
I'll call it good. I'll stay on my butt.
Okay. All right. Lachlan still sitting on the ground, but angry. Anduriel. Anduriel, you take 5 points of poison damage, but you do not take 5 points of acid damage because you're out of the water. Anduriel, you are, however, still prone, my friend.
Do I got to save against the... Well, do I do that at the end?
You do that at the end, but you can do it now if you want to.
I'll just do it now.
Okay, go for it. You need 10 or higher?
17.
Okay, so you are no longer taking ongoing poison 5.
Okay, so I guess I need to stand up.
All right, so you stand up with your move action. Hit her with a lightning bolt. Oh, wait.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. Okay.
Can I move with my minor action?
You can go like this.
I can't, like, progress squares.
No, it's you can wiggle your butt, but you can't move a square.
Well, that could be effective.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to drop trow and try to mesmerize her or something, I suppose that's an option.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
A straw
I don't
drops
think
down
we're-
from the sky.
Yeah. I don't think we're that kind of a game. I don't think we're that kind of a stream. Once again, I direct you to Sirens of the Realms or another stream.
Crap.
Crap is not one of your powers.
Okay, well,
Sounds
I
like
guess I'm
cookie
gonna have to
juice,
use. Well, I can't really do anything.
Can't reach her. You could charge her, but then you'd be going through the water.
Which I'm not going to do anymore. I guess I can. Son of a gun.
though. You can wave.
I can run. I can run across the bridge.
You could make an athletics check and try to long jump across the water towards her.
What if it was an acrobatics check?
That's what I mean. You can make an acrobatics check.
All right, I'll try that. Why not?
All right, go for it. It'll at least get you closer to her.
Yeah. Oh, why did I waste a natural 20? Okay, 20.
All right, so what's your total?
29 total.
29. Now, Lachlan, remind me, with a 29, you divide by what?
I'm checking.
He's checking for us right now. Thank you.
Divide his result by 5,
Okay.
and that's the number of squares he can clear.
All right. So what's your total, Endurial?
29.
29 divided by
So
5 is 4,
25.
right? 5. Okay.
25, yeah.
Endurial, you easily leap across the water. 1, 2, 5,
Where do I land?
6. You land in square 11T.
T. 11.
And you look really cool while you're doing it too.
Yeah, a lot of flourishing going on.
Okay.
And so that was my standard action.
That was your standard action, unfortunately. You stood up with your move, you leaped across with your minor or your standard. You still have a minor, and you could use your action point if you want.
I'm going to use my action point now.
You're going to hit her with your daily?
Yeah. Swarm of Shadows.
Okay. What is that target?
Fortitude.
Okay. Her fortitude, my friend, is 16. Get her. Make her pay.
15.
You're inspired. You're inspired.
Use your bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay. How does that work?
Roll
You
a
need to
dice
roll
6 and add it to the roll.
But he doesn't need to. He only needed
Don't
one.
need to. You
I
only
got
need
a 2,
one.
so got it.
Right.
All right. Congratulations. Because Lachlan inspired your bloodlust, you hit her with Swarm of Shadows.
All right. And that's a vampire attack, yes?
Yes, it is.
So I'm going to add Blood Drinker.
Oh, mean.
So that is 6, 12, 15, 23, 29 points of damage. No,
Oh.
30 points of damage.
Oh, she loves
Ow.
you. All right, Anduriel, do you say anything or do you just bite her?
I'm pissed. The shadow kind of overtakes her. Like the shadow has completely engulfed her. And then all you see is flashes of, my hair, my hands, stuff like that. And you hear her start to scream. And then little bits of blood start to fly from the shadow as she screams bloody murder.
All right, you also teleport, Anduriel. Where do you want to end up?
Teleport. I end up on V10.
Okay. And you're invisible, right?
And I'm invisible.
Okay.
The shadow whispers to you, Anduriel, are you sure you want to eat fish?
Okay. Yeah, she does have a briny taste to her. Definitely.
Sometimes you just want to go to Red Lobster. It's fine.
Yeah,
Sushi.
sometimes,
Hello.
sometimes the seafood lover in you decides it's time.
I didn't
Right.
get the biscuits, but I got the seafood.
Yeah, there you go. Morocon, it's too bad you can't see this because this is a glorious. He throws out his hand and unleashes a burst of shadow, and he actually is absorbed into the burst of shadow. So he looks like he's drawn into it. Then she's in a cloud of shadow and teleporting all around her, and finally he just lands and bites into her and draws her neck, and she screams out. She's like, ah! And she starts screaming. And what is his name? She says, Bindlesticks! Bindlesticks! Get him off of me!
Not a third one.
And that is...
So she takes ongoing damage 5 too. Save ends.
Okay. Alrighty. So she is going to take ongoing 5. Is that necrotic, my friend?
It doesn't say. I imagine it probably
It's
is.
bleeding then. It's probably bleeding.
Yeah, it's
Okay. All right. So, yeah, she's bleeding. Enduriel's there. He's invisible. It's great for him. It's a good day to be Enduriel. And that was your action point, right?
yes. So I'm done. Done.
Right.
Done.
All right. It is the she's turn. He's got a great big old dragonborn on top of him. All right. First things first, he takes 5 points of damage.
A glowing dragonborn.
He takes more than that because he is in your aura.
Absolutely.
All right, roll your damage. Roll your damage because he's in your aura, my friend. 1d6 plus 3.
5, so 8.
All right, so he takes... This poor guy. I almost feel sorry for him. Okay, so he takes 5 points of shadow choking damage, and Morokhan's sun aura is burning the flesh off of his arms. So whereas he was blue, there are now patches of crispy black in places.
He's got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, he does. Oh, wow.
The shadow and light, gonna put up a fight.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Okay.
Sorry, I channeled Miley. Sorry.
Yeah. That was very nice. Ben, do you want to sing too? I mean, I don't want to interrupt. The two of you have like.
I don't think I can see or hear what Anduriel is doing. I'm kind of busy glowing over here.
Yeah, I'm glowing over here. Okay. All right. It is a crappy round for him as he takes a buttload of damage. Okay. What does he want to do? I think he just hates that. Well, being that he's hit, I will tell you what he does. He is going to use Open Death's Door on you, Morokhan.
Oh.
What is your fortitude?
A lot.
Oh, good.
It's 16.
All right, he needs an 8, and he only gets a 3. So, all right. So he's being choked by this shadow, and you're burning him. He's and he's burning. He plays. He manages to squirt out a few notes on his lute, and Morokhan, a black fissure opens up in the air around you, but you grab him and you squeeze his throat, and the shadow's choking him. So the song comes out like that, and his spell does not go off. And he's really mad about that because that was an encounter power.
His pipe is burning his lips.
Okay. He is going to use his fairy form to get away from you. He shrinks down Morokhan to a tiny size, becomes invisible, and flies away.
Does he save from the shadow?
We are going to find that out right now. First, let me relocate him.
Please say no. No.
His choking is very high pitched now. It burns.
The shadow's like, ooh.
It's actually pretty irritating. Irritating. It's all kinds of irritating.
It sucks.
Yeah. Morokhan, you have a hold of him, and Duriel's shadow's choking him, and he shrinks down out of your hand to a tiny size, and you're like, trying to grab him, and then he vanishes, and you can hear him flitter away to the right somewhere. But where he has gone, you are not sure. And now, let's see if he progresses. Okay, unfortunately, Anduriel, your shadow returns to you. He has managed to either shrink and dart away from it, or whatnot. So, unfortunately, that is going to be the case.
One of these days.
Alrighty.
Someone's going to make 2 saves and go unconscious.
All right, that was kind of ugly for him. Now, that is when something else that is rather irksome happens. Lachlan, my friend, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? Are you?
Well, he's still sitting on his butt, so.
Yeah. Okay, Lachlan, from out of the bush to the right of you come 2 pixies, and they fly and flank you. So there is one tiny little pixie or sprite in front of you in square O16, and one comes out behind you in square M16. 2 little pixies. And they have little like wavy daggers in their hands, and they are both giggling and flying at you. Now, they are going to try to use their obscuring. No, what are they going to do that? No, they're both going to turn invisible and attack you, Lachlan. What's your AC?
My AC is 18.
So, Lachlan, they fly out of this bush, but they turn invisible as they come at you. you can tell they're coming at you, but you can't see them anymore. So 18. So your AC to them with a +2 is really 16, which means they need 9s to hit you. That is an 8 and an 18. So 1 hit, 1 miss, which is good.
That's not it.
It's not bad. They do a significant amount of damage. So you are going to take 2d8 plus 10 damage.
What the heck are these swords they're using?
Dang.
Hey,
Pixies, so they're like tiny little daggers, right?
These aren't the
Awesome.
ones that Professor Lockhart left out of the cage, are they?
no, these creatures are actually not. They're not Tinkerbell size. They're about 2 feet tall. They're thin. They're winsome. But Lachlan, one of them comes by and stabs you in the side of your head, and the other one swipes. You miss. He misses as you move, but you accidentally move into his blade, and he stabs you, and you've got a nasty bleeding head wound. And they both appear on either side of you in those squares. So there's a pixie now in square 16M and another pixie in square 16O. So just to let the rest of you look at it, that's what you're kind of looking at there, Lachlan. Okay.
Yeah.
And we got Morocon over there. We got all kinds of juicy. Okay.
What's the damage?
17 points of damage, my friend. Now, unfortunately for you, Morocon, 2 pixies also fly out of that tree next to you, and they're going to do the same thing. So, Morocon, you have a pixie in square H4, pixie 3, and pixie 4 is in square J4. Morocon, what is your AC?
Nah. 14.
It's 14?
It's not a lot.
So, 12 to them, Morocon. Oh, you are such a freaking lucky little monkey. They
That's just what he said before I got clobbered by the water. So don't
yeah,
don't count your chickens here.
She rolled a natural 20, but on an effect that only slides you. I mean,
That is pretty lucky.
you did get lucky, because what if she bagged it? You can't instant kill sliding. At least we don't use the instant kill rule that way. So the pixies rolled a 1, which is a natural miss, and a 6, which unfortunately, because you can't see them, is a hit.
Oh.
So, Morocon, you take 24 points of damage.
What?
You take 24 points of damage.
Yeah, I heard.
Are you still standing after that?
Yeah. Yeah, you said what? So I figured.
He
Okay.
didn't say what.
Well, dang.
That, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Well, do they take any damage since they're in my aura now?
Yes, they will at the start of their turn.
And I've got
And Morocon, it is your turn, my friend.
well,
They take it now, though, right? Because they entered the area.
Yes, they entered the area, so you're right. Thank you. Morocon, roll your damage, please. 1d6 plus 3.
2, so 5.
Okay.
And then
There you go.
I also have that emerald key focus, right?
Yep.
Where so
You want
they-
to use it?
I will shift 2 squares and they take 5 fire damage from me, correct?
Oh, yes. You mean little...
If you got him. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
I'm going to shift down to ice 6 because I can only move 2 squares. Does that count as my move, or do I still have my move?
No.
action?
That is an immediate reaction to being hit. You haven't even started your turn yet.
Okay. I am.
All right, first things first. Are you going to sustain your true light?
Yes, I am.
You want to keep that aura going? It requires a minor action. So minor action is taken. You have a move and a standard.
That is okay. All right. I am going to move. I'm going to move over to Lachlan. I'm going to sprint over to him and see if I can help him back up onto his feet.
Okay, so you're going to move over to Lachlan.
Yeah.
Across the
All
bridge.
right.
Is that too far away, or am I good?
No, that's pretty far away.
Okay.
It's all the way across the bridge and then some.
You have a, what is your speed, Moralcon? I think it's 6, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a 6 speed.
Yeah, so you can move 6 squares unless you want to run, and then you can move 8 squares, but you would take... So is
Yeah.
your goal to just
Okay.
get Lachlan up, or...
You know what? Maybe I'll go stand next to Gizik then. Wait, does Gizik was possessing that other guy, correct?
Gizik was trying to
No.
bewitch him, but he didn't manage to do it. He just bled the
Okay.
guy.
Okay. All right, I am going to All right, I'm going to move back onto the bridge. I'm going to make my way toward Lachlan then.
Okay.
So I'll move 8 squares to the backside of the bridge. I'll sprint over to I-14.
All right.
Couldn't he move and charge? Nah,
Yeah.
without running.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he can do that. I mean, it's a little awkward off the bridge, but I think that would be fine. He's a monk. It's not.
Well, I also have a +9 athletics. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. We're not. All right, Moralcon, you can take a melee basic on Pixie number 2 if you want,
Sweet.
and you can wind up in square 15L.
All right. So yeah, melee basic and using Stone Fist. All right, so yeah, melee basic is, what do I need?
Okay, the Pixie's AC is only 16.
Oh, good, because that's what I rolled.
Okay. All right, so you hit.
All right.
So roll the 1d8 and add your damage bonus and your Stone Fist bonus.
All right, so 8, and then I've got a... Okay, so target takes 6 damage plus...
So roll the 1d8 first, and then add your damage. So 1d8
Okay.
for 4.
Right, so so total will be a 10.
Okay,
I didn't roll super high.
that's okay. I blame JT. That's fine. Okay.
10 plus 6?
No, that's 10 total, he said.
Yeah, 10 total.
So you rolled the 1d8 and you added 10. Actually, that's not possible. Because
Yeah.
if you're using Stone Fist, that gives you 6 damage, and your regular melee basic damage bonus is 4. So roll the 1d8 and
Oh.
add 10.
Oh, okay. So I rolled a 4 then.
So 14 points of damage.
Oh, okay. There we go. We're on the same.
Mr. Pixie. Okay.
And he's now in my aura as well. So
He is in your aura. So at the start of his turn, he is
Exactly.
going to burn.
Burn,
Okay.
baby, burn.
So one of these pixies stabs you, Morocon, and you fall backwards into a roll, which is really kind of impressive for someone your size. And you back handspring up into a standing position, pivot on your foot, turn, go thud, 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 thud over that bridge again.
I don't know how
And
much more
then-
damage that bridge can take.
That Gizik, he cracks one of the boards, and you're like, ah, like you're starting to worry about the integrity of that thing if he runs over it again. And he comes over, and Lachlan, you see this enormous golden scale dragonborn come over and slap one of the pixies into the ground, and it's like, boom, onto the floor. It flies back up into the air, but he just slaps it into the ground. And
Nice.
it doesn't look like it can take too much more of that. Okay, Gizik, my friend, it is your turn.
I'm gonna try to bewitch that pixie.
Which
Get him.
one?
Which one?
Number 2, is that the one that
one on
Mara just
Lachlan?
attacked?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Okay,
one.
his will is only 14, my friend.
I rolled higher than that on the die alone. So
All right, very nice.
he's gonna be vulnerable too.
All righty.
And then
Alright,
I am
Gizik.
going to move over to N15
Okay.
and attack with Savage Frenzy. So this is versus reflex. I will attack both of the pixies. It's a close burst one.
Oh, mean Gizik.
Nice.
You need their AC.
Let's see. So this will be a +8, I believe.
Versus what defense? Is it AC?
versus reflex.
Reflex. Their reflex is 16.
So I need 8s.
All right.
So number 2, that's 12 and another 12. Okay, so I missed them both.
Oh, Lachlan.
All
anything
right,
you
so
do
it's
about
still
that?
half damage,
Okay.
and they are slowed. So let's see.
Poor pixies.
Hey, Moricon and Gizik. Oh no, never mind. That's the siren. Sorry, I was going to give you hit points, but
All right, so that's 11 damage. So half of that is 5.
All right.
So they both take 5 damage and they're slowed.
Okay. So Gizik comes over. I mean, that poor bridge. Gizik comes bounding across the bridge, and then it just collapses into the water. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Gizik comes
bridge.
bounding, and these poor little pixies. This is the thing pixie mothers tell their pixie children about at night. There's a dragonborn that's come to torment them, and look, it's a half ogre trying to eat them, and the pixies are just like, ah! 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 They're flying all over the place. Gizik slaps one into the other. Morocon returns it like Casey at the bat. It really looks like, if you didn't know how vicious these little creatures were, you'd think these guys were just mean, like anybody walking up on the scene. So there you go.
the 17 points of damage in my head would make me feel zero pity for them.
Okay. Alrighty. Now
I forgot, when I said 5 damage, the Pixie 2 is vulnerable too, so he gets another 2 damage.
Thank you.
Or does that
Mark.
get cut? No, that wouldn't get cut in half.
Nope.
Right, so 7 on number 2, 5 on number 1.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, wait a
Does that
second.
bloody him?
Nope.
Hmm.
Actually, yes, it does bloody him. Why?
Oh, good, because then I can use my virtue to give Gizik 4 temporary hit points.
Oh, very nice.
Mr. Dungeon Master, I have
Yes,
just
sir.
realized something.
Yes.
My hit points, I am bloodied now. Do I get a plus to my attack as well?
Yes,
Oh.
you do.
What exactly is that?
Well, I think it's a
Plus
plus
one?
Yeah, +1.
Okay, so I need a +1 to that, Pixie.
That's +1 to your attacks, not your damage.
Oh, okay.
All right, and we will close the night because we're way over time here. We will close the night
Oh,
with,
wow.
with the siren. And Duriel, you are visible. She wants no part of you. She is going to cast the water spout spell.
You're gonna take 5 damage, right?
First, she's going to take 5 damage, and she's going to like it.
She's gonna take it and she's gonna enjoy it. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. May I please have another?
Exactly.
That was some tasty damage. Thank you.
All right, she takes 5 bleeding damage. Let's see if she is... Oh, nope, she is still going to be bleeding next round. Okay, and Duriel, she casts the water spout spell, and she is lifted up 8 squares into the air on a gout of water.
Dang, that's pretty impressive.
And up she is, and that's what she's going to do. Lachlan, she just hates you. She can't see Anduriel. And what is she going to do? All right, Lachlan, she is going to try to use her Song of Torment on you. What is your will?
My will is 17. If it's a ranged attack, though, then I'm prone, so I get a +2 to my defense.
Well, she missed you anyway by rolling a 3. So, Lachlan,
good.
she starts singing this song, but she can't. The water spout that's holding her up is too much in the way, and she just can't seem to aim it or focus it at you. So, a beautiful but agonizing melody floats over the battlefield and bothers no one.
His immaturity is going to surface. He looks up at her and sticks out his tongue, just like full on.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we are way over time for tonight. It is my turn to do Consider This. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining us, and we will finish up on our Consider This for tonight. So, I am, of the 5 of us right now, I am the most connected to the D&D community. I don't have a ton of followers. I'm not some huge popular figure like a number of people that you know. I know Perkins. I'm no Scarlet Moth. I'm no any of these people. But I do see a lot of their tweets, and I've become friends with some people in the D&D community, and I enjoy it. But I have noticed that in the D&D community that we kind of have a trend. I noticed in the way that we talk about mental illness, and it's something that has concerned me. I know a lot of people who struggle with mental illness. I have people in my family who have struggled with mental illness, and I'm sure that I'm not the only person at this gaming metaphorical table who has encountered this before. And I feel like it's worth talking about the way that we look at it. Sometimes I get the feeling that in the D&D community, we talk about it very openly, and we have a lot of people who are quite well known who struggle with anxiety, who struggle with depression, and sometimes we talk about it, and I get the feeling in our community that people are like, "Oh, I've got depression, I've got anxiety too. Look at my mental illness," and that's not to say that, of course, that everybody does that, but I think that, you know, having experienced anxiety in a severe degree to myself, I think that the way that we look at it can affect the power that we have to fight it. I think that mental illness is something for some people that is to be fought, can be overcome, and sometimes it can't. Sometimes mental illness can only be managed. But I think that how we manage it, and by not wallowing it, not glorifying it, but acknowledging that it's just something we deal with, it's not who we are. I think it determines the quality of our life. I have a son who has a heart transplant, and one of our biggest concerns post-transplant is that he become his illness. I don't want that to happen to him, and I don't want that to happen to any of my loved ones. So to all those of you who have experienced this before, who are struggling with mental illness now, you're not the only one. There are a lot of us in the D&D community that battle this, that struggle with it. Fight it. Fight it, and know that you are not your mental illness. Don't let it become who you are. It's not who you are. Who you are is a combination of beautiful God-given gifts and characteristics and talents and opinions and perspectives. You are not your illness. And that is, I guess, the message that I have tonight. You are more than your illness. We are all more than the things that we struggle against. And that's my message for tonight. So consider it. Just think about it. Anything anybody would like to add to that?
I think that's a really powerful thing to think about, and it applies to mental illness and a lot of other things that we trivialize ourselves when we sometimes base our identity around things like that, rather than the good things or the things that are most powerful and most meaningful about us. So I love that. Don't let something define you. You go out and define yourself.
And if you have an issue, ask for help.
Yes.
Even the people you don't think you might not, if you don't have family that you feel comfortable asking for help, find somebody and ask for help. That it will get better.
Yeah. And it doesn't get better right away. That's the terrible thing about managing it. It doesn't get better immediately, but it can get better. And I guess that's a good thing to focus on. Yep. Any other thoughts? Okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I had a great time. For those of you who are watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for being in chat. Those of you who joined us tonight, those of you who are going to watch later on YouTube, leave a comment. Join us on our subreddit. Our subreddit is Holy Rollerz D&D. It's the hashtag that I'm always doing. Our YouTube channel, if you want to catch up, is Sage of Sorcery Productions. So please join our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're still doing a giveaway for a lovely dice vault. As soon as we get up to 50, we've kind of stalled. So if you can help us advertise, we'd appreciate that too. But until then, have a wonderful evening. There are more of us than there are of them. Have a good night, everybody. Goodbye.
Good night.